had a very interesting conversation today. Oh my god. I don't even want to edit this video, to be 100% honest with you. I don't want to look back at this. I'm okay. I'm processing. I don't know where to begin, so I'm just gonna begin talking. In 2020, my ex-husband and I separated. Whatever issues we had, we're not getting into that today, because this story is enough. When you're going through a divorce, it is one of the most traumatizing things you can go through. God, I'm gonna need tissues. Y'all don't judge. I don't have tissues. I don't want to edit this video. I might have to cut out those, but a divorce is one of the most traumatizing things you could go through. So when a person is already in that kind of vulnerable position, there's a lot to process right now. Let's get through this. You're left in a very vulnerable position. And so when my husband and I separated, I even told him, by the way, I will preface this video by saying I can talk as much shit as I want, as long as it's true. And God, do I wish that this wasn't true. Anything I'm saying in this video, I will testify under court. Happily. Well, not happily, but you know what I mean? I told my ex-husband, just because we don't work out doesn't mean I want you to be miserable. Like, go find someone. Like, I still want you to be happy. Let's co-parent. Let's figure it out. Whatever. So he goes off, does his own thing. I go off and do mine. And I met this man. And I have never been so psychologically mind-fucked in my entire life. And even 2 months, we're in May, February, March, April, May, almost 2.5 months now that he's been arrested. I'm still getting mind-fucked. I should have prepared this video better. I have stacks upon stacks of letters from him. There is so much to unpack here. There is so much to unpack. I'm diving ahead. I met this man and he told me everything that I wanted to hear. Told me everything, and I guess it was maybe a little bit of my fault because, to be honest, I opened up so quickly about what I was looking for because, like, ever since being a little girl, I'm a hopeless romantic. I hate it, and I'm a people pleaser, so, like, that combination can be, like, literally deadly sometimes, and I'll admit, I was so naive because I had been in my marriage before, and before that, like, I was always kind of, like, in long-term relationships. I was very naive to how manipulative some people could be. And so I met this person, and he told me everything I wanted to hear. Everything. And here's the crazy part, like, the whole time, like, yeah, like, he was good at my kids, like, he, like, didn't raise his hands at my kids, so, like, to me, I was like, oh, that's a good thing, obviously. So I let this man into my life. I want to pass out. I let this man into my life. Oh my gosh, I have so much, like, I have shit that I gotta prove, so I'm gonna say this part is legit for legal purposes, but, like, I shit you not, just an example. I met this guy, he was from Boston. And he, like, the very first date, I usually have a rule about coming to my house. Especially I have children. I screwed up. I screwed up. I screwed up. I screwed up, and I'm paying the price. I am paying the price. Nobody has to tell me I screwed up. And you best be damned I learned my lesson from it. I learned my lesson from it. I screwed up. I screwed up so bad. I never invite people over to my house for a first date, okay? I'm not the only one that's ever done that, but, like, that still doesn't make it right. I screwed up. And here's the thing, is that, like, oh God, I wish I had the messages, but, like, I went back and forth. I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. There's gonna have to be another video when I'm actually, like, together and sit down, but I know that if I don't record this right now, because it happens every time, I get the courage to actually sit down and not be afraid about what I look like on camera, and not be afraid to cry and be vulnerable on camera and admit that I made a huge mistake. I always end up deleting it, always going at it, and that's how I ended up in this position in the first place. I made a huge mistake when I started dating, and I invited a man to my home, and honestly, like, he had left that night. Our plan was he was supposed to come over and make us dinner. So he had brought like a couple bags with him. Like, one was like a small cooler, and then one was almost like the size of like a computer bag. And so he leaves that night, and I'm going to be 100% transparent. Like, I was unsure that night. I was unsure for a while. And he left that night, and I had, like, every intention of being like, this isn't going to work out. And I am so unconfrontational. Like, it's not even funny. Not anymore, but I was. And so he had left a bag behind. So it was like... And that's important. That comes into play even late. Well, that literally is the domino. That is the domino that set this whole thing off as a stupid bag. So he leaves a bag behind. So I'm like, I feel obligated to, like, reach out to this person, right? Because I'm like, I don't know what's in that bag. It's not just like a sweater or something I just throw away. So that's what started it. Like, that's what had to have him come back, and he would never leave. Like, he didn't move in right away, but like, he moved in pretty relatively early. He had, and this is the alleged part, he had this whole sob story, and this screws me up to this day. And I'm looking at an obituary right now of my dad, so I know it's not it, but like, I met this man November of 2020, okay? So I didn't even know he existed before that November, okay? So after I let him move into my house, I was going through something, and I came across an obituary of one of his friends. This is the friend that when he moved in, mind you, I was hesitant about it. There's a man moving in. I screwed up. Why do you think I'm so ashamed to share this story? Because I screwed up. Like, I screwed up so bad. But when I tell you, if you haven't been in a position where somebody makes you feel not special, like they're the only person that actually gives a crap about you, and they get in your head, it's almost like a parasite. It latches on. It's like, I swear to God, it's like brainwash. That's the only way I can explain it. Because I like to believe I'm a strong, independent woman. But apparently a sob story, unless it is one of those things that even I would be like, girl, are you serious? But like, yeah, it's not a joke. Domestic violence is not a joke. So I came across this obituary after living with this man for a while, right? Now, in my mind, I remember this whole story. He told me that the reason that he needed to get out of where he was at then was because his friend, he was staying at like a veteran home in Boston, okay, with like 10 other dudes, all right? So he's already complaining about the conditions. Guys, oh my God, I'm gonna just stop saying that. I'm embarrassed about all the decisions I made, and like, we're gonna get past that, okay? You can like absolutely rip me to shreds in the comments. I screwed up, okay? And that's why I'm coming on here. Hopefully prevent somebody else from screwing up big time. So he gave me this whole we drove into Boston, right? And I don't remember, I genuinely don't remember what we were there specifically for, but it was not to pick up all his shit. I don't remember what we were driving to Boston for. I think we were starting the process of like, we were talking about getting him out of there. Like, but that's what abusers do, is like they cling on to people and then they don't let you go. Like they isolate you. They make you feel like you're the only one. So I remember going to Boston, whether it was to get his stuff or like stuff. I think he had an issue with men stealing allegedly his stuff at that house. So there was like stuff that, even if he was just sleeping over at my house, like he didn't want left there. No weapons, nothing like that. It was like bike helmets, like expensive motorcycle helmets or something like that. Like these men would literally steal everything. So I was like, okay, I get it. You're like not in the best part of the city. Like, let's go get your stuff. This was crazy. This was crazy. I remember we're parked outside of his house, and I do remember going into the house at one point. I don't know if it was before or after this, but this particular night he had me stay in the car. Every time I relive this story, he goes into the house, comes out like 15 minutes later, and he looks utterly destroyed. I mean, like, if his whole life came crumbling down. And so, like, so you're kind of in that honeymoon phase of where, like, you give a shit. So I was like, what's the matter? And he gave me this whole thing about how he found out that his friend OD'd. Mind you, I met this man in November of 2020, okay? So and this was a roommate of the house. This wasn't like someone he didn't keep in touch with and then found out months later. Tell me why. I swear on my life. If I'm lying, I'll show it. So again, this will be alleged, but I swear allegedly, I swear I saw the obituary say, like, it was like October of 2020 or September. Like, it was a month or two before I even met this man. So, before this video is 1,000 years long, because there are so many details to work out, this relationship was so bad that I had to start emailing myself. You want a whole video of all the emails? Let's make a video of all the emails. Not tonight, because I got information tonight that makes me feel like I want to pass out, and that's why I need to record this now. Oh, by the way, I was mopping my floor. This is how screwed up being abused is that 3 months later, I'm mopping my floor, and something that he did came up that I haven't texted or emailed myself yet in the 4 years that we were together. That's how much shit. So you know what? Let's do this live. You ready? Let's do one of them live so you get an idea of what kind of shit what you're in for. So I text myself. This is a new phone. Oh, by the way, how to get a new phone, because, oh boy, this is all over the place. I'll make a much more organized video. Right now, I just need a word vomit before I actually vomit. Okay, so I text myself like little, like, some pay statements, but whatever, grocery lists, notes. I just find it easier to find. Used to jump out of my vehicle while it was moving when we were in arguments on several occasions. Yeah, like I said, I wish this wasn't true. That is just one. That's one example. That's just one. Oh my God. I have emails. I have a video. Listen, this is not going to own me, but right now, yeah, this is some Jerry Springer shit. I couldn't even make eye contact with him at the end of it. My body was rejecting him. I couldn't get horny for him. Sorry for the French, but like I could not turn myself on for him anymore. I couldn't. And that was what 99% of our arguments was him wanting to have sex with me. Like, I don't even know where we're at. Before we get into the video, there's going to be so much moving forward. Before we get into the video, I found out something completely disgraceful today. I got in touch with this girl. I will not use her name whatsoever, any identifying anything. I'll try to keep her recollection of the events vague as well. So like nobody. I want her untied, like literally good for you that you can you're gone. You know what I mean? But she did reach out to me. She basically says, I'm not lying, I'm going to paraphrase here. She texted me at 1:15 in the morning. Mind you, yesterday I ended up posting something on my Facebook that was, and still is, excruciatingly embarrassing. Because of this divorce and how long it's been going on, and this abusive relationship, like, this abuser literally repossessed all my furniture, dude. Like, not all of it. Luckily, I bought, like, my daughter's bedroom set. I think we did a whole video on it years ago. But, like, I have no bedroom furniture. My mattress is on the floor. Luckily, I have some padding. But my son's bed was repossessed. Mind you, the reason it was repossessed, the abuser was making, I don't know, like, I feel like it's taking away his power, not saying his name, and this is true. So Joshua Jacobs was renting, that's so uncomfortable, and I apologize for that, but, like, he can't do this to another one. He can't. Like, literally, me and this girl were saying he can't do this to somebody else. So, it needs to be known. So him and I were renting furniture from Aaron's Furniture. And to be honest, I didn't even know where we were renting furniture. I'm sure at some point he told me. But, like, if somebody else is making the payment, like, I guess I never checked in on it. And so I had him arrested. And I do want to make a whole separate story time about that night, because there is a lot. The video I'm going to show you is actually from a whole different night. So I really want to break down that night and why I felt like I had to call the police. But I had tried breaking up with him several times throughout our relationship. And every single time it would escalate to he always said that he wasn't a physical abuser because he never hit or punched me, which I guess, like, is technically true. But he would throw me on the ground constantly. Like, if you were wearing something, like, easily grabbed by the collar, like, his favorite thing to do would be to grab you and throw you on the ground. So there was countless times that he did that to me. And I'm telling you, like, I have a pellet stove downstairs that has brick on the floor. Like, my head was inches from it one time. And that's the time that I do remember kind of being like this is reoccurring. My dad passed away from cirrhosis caused by alcohol last summer, and ironically, he became like an alcoholic after that. Joshua, it became, and you wonder why I'm not doing that Bunny Barista videos anymore? Not because I have a problem, because I grew up with an alcoholic parent, and I know what that's like. So I don't stay away from alcohol. Like, I'll have a drink or two if I'm going socially. Like, I'm not that far off from it, but I also know it can tear your family apart, so I don't. And I literally couldn't keep alcohol in the house. All my wine is gone. I had 4 or 5 wine bottles on the shelf. I got this cute little, like, thing from IKEA. Actually, when I was still with my ex, we went to IKEA, and I got this, like, cute little wine thing. It had, like, 4 bottles of wine in it, unopened. I don't drink wine. They're all gone. I had bottles of I liked White Russians. Those were all gone. I could not keep anything. I was so upset. We actually, side note, we got into a really bad argument one time before we went out, because I have really bad social anxiety. Like, going out into crowds is literally like stage performance. That's how I feel. It's terrifying to me. And so we were actually Ubering, so I wanted to shop before we went. I was always a designated driver, because guess who didn't have his license? Oh, what was his excuse? Oh, because it was going to cost him like $1,000 or something to get his license back. Oh, I wonder why that. So I always drove. So it was nice to have an Uber once in a while. So I wanted a shot. And lo and behold, I go to this, like at Christmas or whatever, and stocking stuffers, like, I would just throw them in my cabinet, or even, like, in my, there's, like, a little butter area in your fridge. I would throw them in there, and I went for one shot. They're not there. So you're telling me, as I'm grieving my father's death, who I haven't even had a relationship with since I was 12, now you're becoming an alcoholic, which is the one thing that I told you was, like, an absolute deal breaker when it comes to, like, anybody in my life. I can't do it. It's selfish to me. I can't do it. Anyway, let's get back to let's get back to this message. So this girl reached out to me at like 1 in the morning, and I'm not gonna lie, when she first, there's a lot of emotions. So I felt myself angry, but I knew that the anger was not, I knew she didn't deserve it. So I wanted to give some time before I actually responded and put some thought into my response. But she basically said that a couple personal things, but then she said, I want to add that I actually know your ex. I went on a date with him, one date with him years ago, and he was a psycho and stalked me. I almost reached out to you when I saw you were with him, and I regret not doing so. I had him blocked until he had multiple profiles, so I saw you were with him. You're beautiful, and we'll get through this. I'm here if you need anything. Okay, and then she goes into more personal details I don't want to share. So I ended up responding at almost 11 or 10:30 that morning. And I just, at that point, like I had simmered down a little bit because I had seen this girl on Josh's profile. And I knew Josh made a second profile when we were looking more like genuinely into modeling. I was doing like a campaign shoot with a skincare brand. Like that's genuinely what we're doing. So we wanted to create, even me created a second profile account that didn't have like all our friends and family that would like look at your content but not react to it, because that can just hurt your analytics. So I wanted all people that were more like fans on that page, right? So him and I both created an account for our new modeling endeavors. And so sorry, but like as someone you're dating, you kind of pay attention to who they're adding to new pages, right? I know I'm not the only one. I'm sorry, but I feel like my eyes are so swollen right now. And so I noticed, sorry, but I noticed pretty girls on your page, and girls I get compared to. He compared me to a lot of women. He would do that very often, especially like adult content creators online and stuff. He would compare me, or like say, wish I did more of what they did, basically. Anyways, that was just a side thought. So I basically went in and I asked, basically what he did for her to believe that he was a psycho. I believed her, and I think he's a psycho. They went on a date. They went on one date. He was strange. She thought he was strange. I thought he was strange. But he started talking about marrying her. Did you guys notice that ring that I was wearing? I didn't get married. I swear on my life. Oh, sorry. Let me preface that. I didn't get remarried. But that's funny. Why are you talking about marriage on a first date? That's crazy. That's crazy. He showed up to my work with a love letter and a poem, allegedly, and Ubered. Sorry, when I noticed he added her on both profiles, I can just hear the comments now. When I noticed he added her on both profiles, I asked him, as any good girlfriend would do. No, honestly, I thought she was beautiful, but like I knew that I was loyal, and unfortunately, I just can't seem to find that. So everybody else I'm skeptical of. But I'm like, here's my phone, here's my passcode. Like why would I be in a relationship? I guess that's just me. Yeah, so she said that, she was all set, but he allegedly embarrassed her by keep calling her. That's not even the crazy part. And I'm only laughing because I want to cry again. That's not even the crazy part. She said that happened, that he took that. I don't know if I'm at work. I don't know where I was. My ex and I broke up at the beginning of 2020, excuse me. I met this guy at the end of 2020. We had been literally, like, life was a whirlwind for him and I immediately. I remember one night he's over at my house. Mind you, my kids were not at my house every night, so there were some nights that he could come over and like they were not around, okay? And I remember one night being in my room and hearing him on the phone. If you go into my upstairs bathroom, if somebody's on the porch, you can hear them talking. And I could hear a woman's voice. And for some reason, I didn't confront the asshole right then and there, which I kick myself for every day because I could have saved myself so much heartbreak. But he denied. And I hope that girl comes out. I hope that girl comes out that he was talking to and tells me her side of the story, because I don't know her name. I don't know anything to get in touch with her and ask. But I found, because I had suspicions about him, I'll be honest with you. I went through his phone and I found there was like a text message from her. I don't remember her name, but she like screenshotted when we made ourselves Facebook official and was like, really? Or like, this is how you tell me? Or like, something. So I confronted him, but he had a way to make me the asshole. Until you've been in it, you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay? For 4 years, he denied this because it would come up. It ate at me. It ate at me because I knew. I knew what I heard. I knew better. But for some reason, someone telling me that they loved me, like, actually. So this girl reaches out and tells me that that date happened in 2021 when I was with him. So I don't know if I was at work. I don't know. And he's out on a date with another woman while his shit's in my drawers at home. She says summertime. And she says, I know it was 2021 because I bought my house in 2020 and I was in a relationship. So honestly, like, I thanked her this whole time. Like, I honestly was thanking her for the information because this is the most I've gotten. I said, you were very smart for getting out as soon as you could. I thought he was very strange after our first date and I was an idiot to invite him to my home. But he left a bag behind. I'm 100% certain he did it on purpose. I tried breaking up with him countless times, and every time I did, it became physical. And the last time, he almost took my life. And then I was explaining that he kept adding her on, like, every profile that he would make. So then she says, stop, he left a bag. I said, yeah, he said he was bringing over shit to make us dinner, and then he left, like, a black duffel type bag, So he was like, I had to get in touch with him the next day. I shit you not. I was 100% going to block him, but he left. There will be, I did make a GoFundMe. It was so uncomfortable. I explained my situation on Facebook yesterday, and I've gotten mixed opinions. It's still up. I have seen miracles happen from social media. I know God has my back, no matter the outcome. But I'm in a lot of pain right now, and I could use a lot of help. We're not going to go into sob stories right now. If you really want to hear it, I'll be happy to share. But, like, everybody needs help. So, like, even just watching this video. She said, he's a psycho. He told me he came to my work because I left a jacket behind. Same fucking thing. So I said, dude, what the F? I'm literally shaking so bad I can't even type. Like, I was having a full-blown panic attack. Said he Ubered an hour away to drop off a sweater. And I honestly don't think it was mine. Like, dude, what if it's my sweater? I can't prove this, but I swear on my life, I want to ask her if it's a Maryland sweater. Because I've been looking for that freaking sweatshirt since I gave birth in it. What if he gave her one of my freaking sweaters because he went on this date when we were together? Dude, I'm going to throw up. I'm so hurt at this point, I can't even cry anymore. You know when you're like so angry that it almost starts feeling scary, that you're not reacting anymore? Like my face feels numb. My daughter's birthday is in the summer. So you're telling me when you were helping me set up for my daughter's birthday, you had just taken a woman out on a date? It took me... Allegedly, she says it took me insulting him and threatening to call the police for him to stop. Embarrassed me at my job. He got the hotel next to my restaurant and kept calling the work phone over to see if I'd come over. Like, I can't recall a night that, like, he told me that he wouldn't be coming home or some shit. He popped up on a different profile that I mentioned and added me. I added him back because I wanted to make sure. This is from her. I got engaged in 2021 December, so it was definitely summer 2021. I'll be totally honest with you. I don't know if I can be in a relationship again. Like, there is a really sweet guy. I've been trying to put myself out there after this because I want companionship so bad. And I still dream of that little girl's marriage that I've always wanted, but like, this guy brought me flowers. For the first time someone brought me flowers ever to a first date. And I'm like, what are you trying to hide? I gave him this whole long spiel today. I'm like, I love meeting new people. I'm open to it. I am so scared. I am so scared. And they say, you're like 90 or whatever % more of a chance to get into a relationship after you left a relationship. Again, this is not about, or after you left an abusive relationship. Again, this is not about my first relationship, but like, I just haven't been shown what real love was, so I fell because I felt so bad for somebody, and that bit me so hard on the ass. I have been through so much, and I am trying to rebuild. I keep touching my face just because I literally feel like numb. I made so many mistakes. So many mistakes. I promise you, moving forward, I am a lot smarter, and I know what to look for. I'd be damned if I let my daughter go through this.